Dear learners, welcome to Legal Awareness Program of Odisha State Open University. I am Mayank Tiwari, Assistant Professor of Law at National Law University, Odisha, Cuttack. I am taking the Commercial Law module, which is dealing with the basics of commercial laws. Already we have discussed in the last video lectures about the contract, what is the constituent of the contract, how the contract is being formed, what is the agreement, the proposal and acceptance, parties to contract, enforceability of law. We discussed what are the essentials of a valid contract. We discussed about the consideration, free consent of parties and capacity to contract. In today's class, we are going to discuss about the banking law. As we all know that Indian economy is considered as an emerging economy, where the banking sector has been playing an important role. The Reserve Bank of India regulates the banks according to the powers derived from Reserve Bank of India Act 1934 and the Banking Regulation Act of 1949. RBI controls credit, issue currency and regulate banks and non-banking financial companies. The lecture deals with the basic negotiable instruments and the dishonor of check. Now discussing about the functions of Reserve Bank of India. As we all know that the Reserve Bank of India is the banker's bank. It is the bank to the government of India. It issues and do the management of the currency. It made the distribution of coins. It is the lender of last resort, which means that when the banks already exhaust all the sources of raising funds, they move to Reserve Bank of India as the last resort. It can grant loans and advances to the scheduled banks, state financial corporations. It is the controller of credit extended by the banks. It can extend emergency advances to the banks in particular cases for regulating the credit to trade, commerce, agriculture and the industry. It manages the value of rupee. RBI also manages and maintain the foreign exchange reserves of India. Now coming to the main discussion for today, which is dealing with the negotiable instruments. What actually the negotiable instrument is? The term is defined under section 13 of the Negotiable Instruments Act of 1881. It defined as a negotiable instrument means a promissory note, bills of exchange and check payable either to the order or to the bearer. So there are three categories of negotiable instruments which are provided by the definition. The first one is the promissory note. Second one is the bills of exchange and third one is the check. And the next important thing is it is payable either to the order who is ordered in the same to be paid or to the bearer of the instrument. Coming to these terms, first one is the promissory note. The term promissory note is defined under section 4 of the Negotiable Instrument Act of 1881. One thing very important in this regard, it is not the bank note or the currency note. Now coming to this definition, the promissory note is always an instrument which is in writing. It must be writing and it must be made by the maker. It must contain the unconditional undertaking. There must not be any condition pertaining to which the payment is to be made. It must be signed by the maker. This is making it an authentic document whereby it will be having its validity. It is always an instrument to pay a certain sum of money. The money which is mentioned in the negotiable instrument promissory note, it must be a certain sum. Coming to the example for the promissory note. Let's suppose A signs instrument in the following terms. I promise to pay B or order rupee 500. We can say that here the party is definite, the maker is definite and the amount is certain. So it is having all the features of promissory note. It can be termed as a promissory note. Wherein another document we can say A signs an instrument in the term I acknowledge myself to be indebted to B in rupees 1000 to be paid on demand for the value received. Again, we can say that in this particular writing, the term is very clear. It is very certain and the amount is also certain. The person to whom the amount is to be paid is also fixed. So it is having all the features of promissory note. It can be termed as the promissory note. Moving to the next document, which is the bills of exchange. Section 5 of the Negotiable Instrument Act 1881 defines the term bills of exchange. A bill of exchange is an instrument in writing containing an unconditional order signed by the maker directing a certain person to pay a certain sum of money only to or to the order of a certain person or to the bearer of the instrument. Now again, in the case of the definition as provided by section 5, it is very clear that again it is also an instrument which is in writing and it is containing an unconditional order. In previous case, when we discussed about the promissory note was an instrument where one person was making an unconditional undertaking to pay a certain sum of money. But here, the maker of the instrument, he is acknowledging and he is directing some other person to pay certain sum of money. He is not taking liability himself. Although the document will be valid only when the person, that is the maker, signs the same. But in this case, he orders other person to pay particular amount of money. So here he directs a certain person to pay a certain sum of money only to or to order of certain person or to the bearer of instrument. So bill of exchange is payable either on demand or after the expiry of specified period. With clarity on both of these instrument, promissory note and bills of exchange, we are moving further to an important document, negotiable instrument, which is the check. The term check has been defined by section 6 of Negotiable Instrument Act of 1881. It provides that a check is a bill of exchange drawn on a specified banker or not expects to be payable otherwise than on demand, and it includes the electronic image of the truncated check and a check in the electronic form. Now these two terms were very important. One is the truncated check and other is the check in electronic form. Check in electronic form, it means a check which contains the exact mirror image of a paper check and is generated, signed and written in a secure system ensuring the minimum safety standards with the use of digital signatures and asymmetric crypto system wherein there are two keys, one is the public key and other is the private key, and the document can be opened only with the help of both these keys. Coming further to next important concept of truncated check. Truncated check means a check which is truncated during the course of clearing cycle, either by the clearing house or by the bank, whether paying or receiving payment, immediately on generation of electronic image for transmission, substituting the further physical movement of the check in writing. Now coming to the next important topic, which is in regard to dishonor of check. And in current days, the importance of the topic pertaining to dishonor of check is very important for the commercial laws, because the payments are made by the companies generally in the form of the digital mode, and checks are generally used in the business transactions. So the protection is required for the parties who are sending the goods and receiving the checks for the payment of those goods. Now coming to the dishonor of checks. Section 138 of the Negotiable Instrument Act provides for the dishonor of check. It provides the dishonor of check for insufficiency of funds in the accounts. When the check is returned unpaid due to the reason of insufficient fund in the accounts of the drawer shall be deemed to have committed the criminal offense. It is basically done to protect the interest of the payee. Now coming to the conditions of the prosecution. The check was issued by the drawer for the discharge of the debt or liability which is legally enforceable. The check is always issued by the drawer and which is issued for the drawee and which is payable to the payee. There are three parties in case of the check. The check is returned by the bank due to insufficient amount in the bank account of the drawer. The check was presented during the period of its validity. There is the period of validity for the check, that is duration of 3 months, which is provided by the Reserve Bank of India from the date which is mentioned on the check. The check need to be presented within that duration only. The payee or the holder of check has served a notice within 30 days of receipt of information about the dishonor of check. Further, the drawer fails to make the payment within 15 days from the date of receipt of such notice of the payee. Only then the cause of action will arise. And a complaint can be made by the payee within 1 month from the date when the cause of action arose. The case can be filed with the court having the jurisdiction. Now, finally, the punishment under Section 138, because the violation of Section 138, as we already discussed, is very severe, because it clearly provides for the imprisonment or the fine, and imprisonment for the term which may extend to 2 years, which is very severe. And second is fine which may extend to twice the amount of the check, or both the punishments can be inflicted on the drawer of the check. Coming to the reasons for return of the check, many a times the banks, they return the checks of the parties, of the drawers. In this case, what may be the reasons for the same? At the time the check is returned by the bank, the reason must be provided by the officials of the bank, and these reasons may be like not arranged for, when the party has not arranged for the arrangement which are required for honor of the check, effect no clear, funds expected present again, exceed arrangements, payment countermanded, when the payment has been stopped by the drawer himself, drawer's signature differ, check is outdated, amount in words and figures are differ. So these all are the reasons when the checks may be returned by the bank. So we have discussed today in regard to the basic concepts like the functions of the Reserve Bank of India, how the Reserve Bank of India is controlling entire banking system. We discussed about the negotiable instruments. The negotiable instruments as defined by the definition provided by Negotiable Instrument Act include the promissory note, bills of exchange and check. We discussed about these terms in detail, and finally we discussed about the dishonor of check. Thank you.